Welcome back to Beyond the Dimensions podcast. I'm here with
Leng.
And I'm here with
Janelle Gibson.
And of course, you're back with Mel Busy.
All right, today we're going to be talking about our view on religion. And for my first question, what's your personal belief on religion?
Coach, I'd like you to answer this first.
Religion. So no connection to spirituality. Just straight up what we think religion is, right?
Well, yeah.
I think religion, in definition to myself, I think it's a set of rules, right, and guidelines, practices that were established and written by human beings that had interactions with potentially divine or some say extraterrestrial beings. I think some of it may consider myth or fable. I think a lot of these rules sometimes were written to protect people from certain things, right? Like I might write a rule, or I might create a religion if I live off the coast of, I don't know, say Eastern America, and there's some type of fish that if I eat it, it makes me sick, right? So I might, if I want to save my people group, I might think of a rule, right, and then write it into text, and then over time it may become a part of our religion, our doctrine. So I think a lot of it is that. I'm not going to take away from the different spiritual or higher entity interactions that people, report on having. I think weird things happen all the time, and it could turn into a faith or a religious belief. So.
Yeah, like the same thing. I think religion's like based off like morality. Mm-hmm. It's to like get everybody to have good morals and the same morals. And I don't really I think it's like meant to separate some people. Because religion always been a route to wars and like a lot of stuff to separate people. And
why do you think that? How do you think give me an example of how religion leads to a war?
The Crusades. Mm-hmm. It was off of religion. Yeah. Even like two different religions.
What's the Holocaust?
Holocaust? Yeah. And like Israel, right? No. That's like people.
Well, Israel, or you could say Jewish traditions, is actually quite interesting because it is a people group, but it is also a people group that's directly connected to a religion, which is, say for instance, let's take, where are you from, Leng?
Sudan.
Is there a particular religion that's ultimately universally anywhere you go? If you're Sudanese, you're this religion, or is it different religions?
Well, like Sudan and South Sudan is different, so Sudan would mainly be Muslim.
Mainly be Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Where people from the Jewish tradition, or not everybody living in Israel right now is Jewish, by the way. But when we think about World War II, people who were in Germany and Eastern Europe, in Europe at the time, who had wrong did against them, they were Jewish, which meant their religious was Judaism. It wasn't like they could be Jewish and believe in Christianity.
What's your thoughts on religion?
My thoughts on religion is I think that it's the exact same thing what you're saying, like a set of morals and rules that that society or that they make so the world is in a
can run.
Yeah, the world can run. Yeah.
Cause I don't think it's a bad thing that we have religion, cause it's it helps us run good. So it's not chaos everywhere. But I still think it's used to control people.
Yeah.
By the rules.
I think that some people fall into it too deeply that it removes that genuine
connection to your God.
Yeah. For what you believe in. A lot of things I think I like to say a lot is a lot of people that believe in religion, they think heaven and there's a hell. So they do things to get to heaven, I'm a good person because this is going to help me.
Yeah, and what we said on the other podcast, I don't think you can do anything genuinely.
Yeah, you can't. Genuine. Yeah.
You can do all these good deeds, but it's always going to make you feel good. You're always going to get something out of it. You're not going to... And it's not out of it's not in your control.
Isn't that good?
And it's not bad. But that I feel like that's better. Like if you do something good for somebody and you just feel that genuine, like, yeah, I'm happy that I did this, instead of you doing it and then thinking about this made me a better person for my religion.
Yeah.
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 Or like if I do something bad, or like take into a thing like, oh, that's what I think, like the flaws in religion, like sinning. Like I feel like they take that to a different level. Because if you think about it as sinning, then you be like, oh, I want to be perfect. I don't want to
Oh
make
yeah.
more mistakes. I want to,
Yeah.
yeah. It removes the genuality of things.
Yeah.
I think, go ahead, Leng.
Kind of going off that, I want to ask: do you guys think like religion is a source of power?
Yes, it's literally a control factor.
Yeah. Do you think?
That religion is a source of power?
Yeah, like it can like be used power. I think it's already been used in history, like the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think religion goes hand in hand with, you guys are already speaking on it, the control of a populace as well as the control of resource and finances for a lot of different reasons. But Lang, you said something a little while back that was interesting. I kind of want to. It absolutely, religion is a way to control the people. I think that just to look at it from an open end, like an open lens. I think that there's some good that can come from it. But I had a teacher, and I actually had a professor my first 2 years in college back home, and he was like, the nature of human beings is vanity, greed, and envy. And then he was like, that's just over time the patterns that we continue to repeat. So I think religion, just like government, what's another control factor?
Um,
That's any system,
can be
any system, right? Sometimes the nature, it seems like the nature of people come out in it where it was supposed to be a good thing, right? We had this interaction with this divine being, whatever anybody may believe, I'm not sure. And this being told us, don't eat this, don't drink this, don't lie, don't do this, don't do that, because this is what it leads to. I think we can agree universally, like lying is bad
yeah.
for the most part. Sometimes you gotta lie to save somebody's life, right? I think we can agree like murdering somebody with no reason is bad. There's like some universal things that we can look at, like, yep, human beings probably shouldn't hurt one another like that. But to your point, when it goes outside of that, when it goes to like,
The little
maybe
stuff.
Lang should, I don't think you can twist your hair because according to such and such 2,000 years ago, people who twisted their hair were this. That sounds more of like a personal attack on your people group and culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like if you look at like a lot of religious books and stuff like that, has so much of that in it, where it's like more personal things that they might not like, or
It's 'cause-
they might not accept.
It's like what Coach just said, like his analogy, like back then, if they lived on a coastal like land.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I think it's like the book is written for that time
yeah,
period.
that time period and that environment
Yeah.
that they are in.
So like,
You have to protect.
yeah.
You have to protect. Your basic human instinct is to survive, right? So if you hold a position of power, if Melvin is the president, say, right, or say you're a priestess, or not a priestess, excuse me, a priest, and you may go, say you go to the top of a mountain, right, and you like, dang, this is beautiful, like the sun. You having some thoughts, some intuition, if you will. That could be God, Allah, Jah, so many different names for, when people have these visions and thoughts, and you say, you know what? I feel like my people should no longer sacrifice cats. I hate to say cats. I'm not a cat killer, but anybody else who sacrifices cats around you, you think is heathenish or a demon, but they're just from a different culture and a different experience as you.
So my question for the both of you is, how can something so like a belief so environmental and based on the area you're at or the time period be universal?
That's a great question. So I think if you look at universal law, or like we talked about, like lying, stealing, killing, your brain and my brain, we get real comfortable with our environment where we're at, and if I live here and I don't get to see what's 50 miles away from me, especially in those times where religion was really being brought up, this is going to be my reality. This is going to be my truth, and I'm comfortable here, and we protect our own, right? So anything else you can consider foreign, it may be just the way human beings work sometimes, it may be considered a threat. So your religion that may be foreign, it challenges my perspective on what life is.
Yeah.
It's a threat to me. It's going to make me uncomfortable. The challenge for you guys and for us going forward is to be human beings and understand that it may challenge you, but that's an opportunity for understanding and growth. Because if Leng can practice whatever religion he wants to, that doesn't mean I can't love him. So the connecting factor that love is could be honestly that's supposed to be the base in all religions, right? In
Yeah.
pretty much most part, love. So what's separating us?
Exactly my point. Like that's why I don't like I don't like religion that much. Like, cause like when I'm younger, you're like a Christian or you're whatever your parent
Yeah, your
religion
parents
you
are.
Yeah, and then you see a friend and he's like a different religion, and you be like, bro, my religion's saying that since he's a different religion, he's going to hell, and I like never like that. Why is he going to hell, and I'm gonna go to heaven because I believe in this religion? And I always like see holes into it, like indigenous people. Their religions are usually like based off of what they're living off of. Like they can be praising a cow, but
Yeah,
cows are like really valuable
Yeah,
at their land.
and I feel like it might be controversial, but I feel like that's more respectable because that's what they're
Yeah.
living off of. Like,
Yeah, it's more believable. They
yeah,
can see it, but
yeah, they can see it. So you're worshiping something that's like actively being a source to you.
Well, what if you think about every religion is essentially, except for Buddhism, but Buddhism has been changed. Buddhism was really like a practice, right? In its original form, there was no worship of a deity or a god. It was just a set of rules to live and practice by. But outside of that and a few others, every religion is, I don't know if you guys want to agree, but is every religion essentially associated with like a god, deity, or a higher being?
Essentially, yeah.
For the most part, right? So then I think the question that human beings have to ask themselves is what exactly is God? What exactly is a higher being? And then in yourself, if you believe in a higher being and you read all the parables and stories about a higher being or a God, do you think that thing makes a decision like exactly like you? Something that's omnipotent, omnipresent, outside of all, not outside of all, can see all, views time in a circular pattern, not necessarily linear. So beyond the dimensions, right?
Yeah.
And is that being that you believe in, is that being incapable of loving your Muslim brother, your Muslim sister, your Sikh sister? Is that being, are we willing to say, cannot love everybody?
Nah,
Yeah,
you could.
and that's the biggest flaws in the religion because there's so much division between each religion that it wouldn't even make sense if that whole big group of people that live by their set of rules, they're being good people, right?
Yeah.
Aren't they being good people, good to their faith? But to your religion, that means like they're being bad, they're being this. How would that be justified for them to go to hell according to your religion? That wouldn't make sense.
You asked a lot of good questions. I think that a lot of people need to ask themselves, and we don't in a lot of different faiths. I grew up in the Christian faith, non-denominational, and I still believe in that faith, right? But my viewpoint, we had these conversations. My vantage point and views of it is different because I'm a human being that's interacted with a lot of other human beings from different religious and spiritual beliefs, and I, to the depth of me and the life of me, believe that those are great people, amazing spirits, and I don't think the thing that loves me, that I believe loves me, and I believe that you love me, everybody here loves me. I don't think that thing is gonna, send those people into turmoil. I don't feel it. I don't feel like if they don't, I don't feel like that. I think that we interpret certain things. When you read certain Bibles, human beings may have interpreted a message from a higher being, from a God, a Jah, and we're human beings, so we understand it in our context. But I think you have to have the relationship with God or what great spirit. I don't know what name you want to call it when you pray, or when you meditate. But I think you have to have that relationship to yourself, so you can know who you are, and then we talked about nature and environment. That relationship to your nature and what's around you. Because if you believe in God, then everybody believes that God is in all.
Yeah, I think you said it before. Like every like major religion has something like similar within it. It's like spirituality, and that might have like been true and then like human nature already like thought to divide it. Like, no, this is how I interpreted it, and this is right. And then like other people just kept on flipping it and switching it.
Yeah. Like two people could read the same thing and have different interpretations.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah.
You know,
And
think differently.
and another thing that I want to go into is like I can't understand why. Like this is a lot of thing I don't like to. Like, a thing I don't like to say. Like some people might say like get mad at me for saying like I don't like to use the term God because if it's all seeing linear between
Non-linear.
yeah non-linear between dimensions, how can I give it a human like term like God, something that we make up, like a name that we make up? How can I give a title to something of that level of a being? We can't. We don't have the comprehension fully of that being.
But I think it's like we have to, because like when you're talking about something, you need something like substance for everybody to understand. Like if you just be like, I don't know the name, then who would know?
I mean, we can have a. I'm not saying like, oh, it's bad to have a term. I'm just saying for my personal. Like me personally, I don't like to identify it as anything.
Going off of that, like a lot of people's like perspective on God is like, oh, perfect. To me, like, I don't know.
Nothing.
I don't think it's perfect.
Yeah, I don't think
because
nothing.
we've never seen perfect.
Yeah,
but
we never seen that being. So it goes hand in hand. Yeah. So what's
you raised a lot of great points, man. A lot of great points. Dude, I think the take that you guys had on like not necessarily using the word God, I think that goes back to, let's go back to religion and historical relevance. There's so many thousands and millions of names for God. Some religions have hundreds of gods, right? And it may not be the main source, the main power source, or the main energy that boom created all this, right?
Yeah.
It may not be the main thing, but it's in their belief system. It's a deity, a being of a higher or interdimensional being that is able to do some things, see some things, speak to some things. A very ancient, old energy and spirit, if you will, and that's what they believe in. And I am not, bro. Like, I studied the Bible growing up. I studied the Quran. I studied a lot of different religions, and it's like, man, we were just talking about this earlier. You know, even with Greek mythology, dude, there's like so many stories about similar things happening at the same time period.
Yeah.
Like I can't. How is it a country? I think it's a country off the coast of Africa. I don't want to not say the name. How do they know star patterns from millions and millions of freaking, not just miles, but like millions of light years away? How do they know that? There's no way. They knew these star patterns that we were just now able to find out with an amazing, great telescope. How did this people group? They had no way of knowing that. They couldn't just look in the stars. Something had to show them that. Yeah. There's so many unexplainable things where I can't discredit anybody's account of a God or of a Yahweh. I can't say, nah, bro, that never happened, because this planet, as we know, is 4 billion years old. As we know, dude, it's so old. You know what the heck happened? What came through here? What interacted with who?
Yeah, and another thing, like when I talk to people about my religious beliefs, at first glance they like to say, "Oh, you're
atheist."
Atheist.
Yeah,
I hate that so much. I'm not saying I don't believe in anything. It's exactly what you're saying. I'm not gonna stand on anything as concrete. Like I know this.
Yeah.
No. I feel like our job here as human beings is to question everything.
Yeah, that's
everything.
one of my questions. Like, is it okay to question religion?
Yeah, it's literally.
That should even be a question. Like, why would you 100%? That's another question too. Do you think like somebody can 100% believe in their religion?
I think you should look into Descartes' tripart theory of knowledge, 3-part theory of knowing something, like being able to believe. So study that. But yes, I 100% think that somebody can like fully embody, believe in something, a religion, in something. I think somebody can 100% believe in it, 100%. I think people will die for it. People have shown it before.
Yeah, I think like there's like a select few that like experience things that they can't question. Like it has to be like a higher being or something. But like people that I see that try to do like the right thing, everything has to be right. I don't believe that they can 100% believe in it, because even I didn't. Like, I have to question it.
Who are these people? What's the main? Tell me the main. Dude, you can go ahead and say it, because
Like pastors, like
Yeah.
I used to like go to like Bible camp, and I love asking questions. Like, and my number one question is like, do you 100% believe in that your religion, like that Jesus is like Jesus died for you? Like they all to be like, yeah, I do, but I just don't believe it. Like,
yeah. In the
if
Bible,
you
it also
question
said-
it,
go
there's
ahead,
no
Melvin.
way you can't believe it. There's
ahead.
no way you can believe it, because it's not like in your eyes.
Yeah.
You're just going off the book.
And it's not me discrediting it and saying like, oh, it just 1,000% didn't happen. I just don't. It's not me being ignorant to it. It's just me
It's not
saying,
concrete.
yeah, it's not concrete. It's like scientists. I really think I like about science and what scientists do is they don't put out anything that's not super concrete
Yes, they
most
do.
of the time.
It's called a scientific. It's called a theory.
Yeah, theory, but I'm saying like
You know,
when
gravity
they're-
is still a theory.
Yeah, I'm saying like when they're like let's just say a vaccine or something.
Mhm.
Like when they put out information about things like a vaccine, they don't try to put out
Misleading. information.
misleading information or things that are not like super duper unconcrete.
All right. So
Super duper.
for sure.
Any scientist theory is like it's not 100%.
That's why it's
Yeah,
called.
I'm not
Yeah, but
saying.
that's the whole point.
Yeah,
they
that's the
don't
whole-
say that it's 100%.
Yeah, they don't say that it's like.
But
oh,
your
this
Bible would say it
is.
is.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
So
They don't.
let's
try to
talk
say
about
it's like.
let's talk about the Bible. All right, let's dive into that. You can look at the Bible as a historical book, right? Because there's certain you can. Did the people group of Israel were they in Egypt for a time period? 100%. There's artifacts that show that people group was in Egypt. The stories, you can't discredit the Jewish tradition, the original Hebrew tradition. There's too much artifacts. There's too much science behind it to say that their stories aren't credited. Just like if you look at any ancient African tribe, any ancient story, you can't discredit your people group story, right? It's the same thing. The difference with the Bible is the Roman Empire and the Conference of Nicaea, and how that book was essentially, kind of torn apart.
It was literally like it shows in history that it was manipulated. Like
course.
the word was manipulated. So
Well,
how can you stand on something that's
the words have been manipulated. The thing
Right.
the things that been manipulated is the books. Certain books were taken out and certain books were kept.
Yeah.
Certain books that could have offered more perspective about what you believe. Like people right now, if you read the 66 books in most translations, it's gonna be pretty streamlined across, right? But like if you read like the Book of Enoch, you really can get a better understanding about what might have been going on in early human history, and have a better understanding about, if you want to call God, what God is. But most people think about God as a human force. Even if you read like the book of Isaiah, like dude, really, if you really interpret stuff outside of your basic human, you can even say Western perception, like it's where the books or where do the stories in the Bible take place? Do you know?
Like Jerusalem, right?
Where's that at?
Like, at like East Africa,
Mhm.
like Middle East.
yeah,
Asia.
Middle East, East Africa, places like that.
Afro-Asiatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Middle East, East Africa. I don't know if we can put this in there because we might get canceled like Kyrie, but like the tribe of Ham, Shem, like the original tribes of Abraham, those guys were in Africa and they branched out.
Yeah.
So these stories that we speak about across the world, we have to think about why in the hell did they get manipulated by a in the Roman Empire, these original people stories, indigenous people stories that took place in the Middle East, East Africa, Africa. How did they end up in the hands of the Roman Empire? And do you think the Roman Empire would have told the stories of those people group correctly?
I think it landed into the hands because like Christianity was like, it was growing in popularity. So if they just changed their like government to the church, then like they already got money off the church and everything like circles around the church. So it like benefited their
The Roman belief system, or as we call pagan belief system, or believe in sun worship, believe like the worship of a sun. When Christianity started to grow a little bit after people were like, like the original gladiators, they were like Christians.
Oh yeah.
They're like, so after people went through that process, and then it still started to grow throughout like ancient Mesopotamia area, Greece, Roman. Uh, then I think after Nero, who was it? Constantine. He was like, "Yo, there's a lot of people following the Christian faith, and I don't even think it was called Christianity then. There's a lot of people following that faith. I don't want to tear apart the empire because I have people practicing the original Roman belief system, and I have people practicing, Christianity. How can I marry the two?
So it was
Yeah,
like
mix it
a
together.
combination. Yeah,
They had,
combination.
a conference
Yeah,
in
didn't they
Nicaea.
like mix in like holidays? Like
Yeah, they
already
did.
holiday.
They did this to not tear apart. It was for financial reasons. If I like, you could even you look at like, I'm not gonna speak about tithes or anything, but you can collect money through the church, all right? Through different. If you have a religious text in, like collect this. It's just easier to garner or empire under one central religion to have people torn apart. So they have a conference, all right, and they take out certain books out of the original Bible and leave certain ones in. I don't know if they manipulated text in or not. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But one thing I know is that like Sunday, if you kind of look at it, like we talked about this before,
Yeah.
even like Christmas, the original reason why, like how Christmas came about, like the Roman Empire, we all have winter solstice. What is it, December 21st, 22nd? It's a darker time of the year. So traditionally, Roman Empire would dress up like trees, right, with like lights. They would like burn candles around it. They would do all these different things, and it was essentially telling their sun god, like, don't take the sun away from us too long. Like, that's why we light trees now, right? It's to attract light, which we combined and created Christmas. Because then we were able to keep like the original worship of Jesus Christ being born into this world, and keep the worship of a tree, right? And we combine it. Nowadays we don't think about it, but that's why I advise everybody who's doing any religious beliefs or any studies, like really look into what you're practicing and what you're believing. Like the history is out there. It may challenge your scope, but
And I did like further research into the religions of Christianity and how it differs from other religions. A lot of the dates were manipulated or created to meet people's, meet people's standards or meet people, meet them halfway. Like I don't know.
It's even showed in like modern like times, like slavery. They change the Bible to like manipulate the slaves into like going off this false book, and like they actually believed that it was like Christianity, and it was like all mixed up.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
if those
Changed
people
it?
can change it, like why don't you think other people can change it throughout history?
it's changed, but it's more so like, yo, if I take a good word, if I take say I write something that says like, if I have a paragraph and I write like, and then my son will follow my rules for as long as time goes, whatever, some sort of script like that. And then and then I enslave people, right? Because I'm sick in the head, I'm going to enslave people. And I give them that same script and I say, listen here, you are my son, right? I took you, you're my son now. You see what this word here says? This word is by the
So
God.
changing the
only God.
interpretation of it.
Change the interpretation of it.
Oh yeah.
You mentally, if I take you away from your people group and take you away from your original spiritual practices, and I beat the crap out of you, boil you, do the worst things to you, sort of like the walrus, Mr. Tusk. If I try to turn you into something, right?
Yeah.
I take all hope away from you, and then I say, look, in order for you to live, you need to follow this word here, or things are gonna get a lot worse for you. You take the entire spirit out of even if the word was good before. I have a son, bro. I'd be like, bro, follow my rules, man. I'm not trying to lead you towards destruction. Like, I love you, dude. I want you to live.
Yeah, but in his head, it's
But
like
if I beat my son, if I hurt my son, and I do all these terrible things to him, and then I give him this word and say, you need to follow my rules, the spirit of love is no longer in that text. There's nothing you can say to me as a son anymore. So I think maybe, I'm not sure on the historical part. I don't know. Like, I can't say. I need to look into it for myself. I'm pretty sure some things are manipulated, but I know for a fact if you gave me a good word and then beat me and took food away from me and did everything wrong, that in itself is manipulation.
And I don't think that's like we can't like just fully get on the book for that, because that is the people, because you're taking the words out of context and using them for the
going off of that, bro. Don't you see like I was having an argument before, It wasn't really an argument. It was about like religions and stuff. And then they were talking about how one is more lost than the other. And like to me, like every religion has its like
Big flaws
yeah,
or
so it's
yeah.
big flaws. Like Islam, like their flaw to me is like when they were going to war, they would like manipulate the Quran for the like young kids and then tell them it's something different. And then they would like go and like suicide bomb. Cause like the Americans wouldn't want to shoot a kid, but they found out they had to. To me, that's not like they would say that's not a true Muslim, but like it doesn't matter because they're representing your religion. Like everybody's gonna think that, and then Christianity, I think it's like it's been changed throughout history, so that's how it's lost, and it's like it's been used to conquer land. Like they would, if you didn't convert, if they thought you were heathen, they would try to convert you by force and take your land.
I got a question. Are people flawed?
Huh?
Are people flawed?
Yes.
Yeah.
People are flawed, right? So this is why I judge the spirit of a person more so than I judge what they're trying to follow. Because I know that what they're trying to follow has been probably twisted and changed by another spirit of the person that had bad intentions. So if people are flawed. Any good text that you like beyond the dimensions, it could be a good text, a good thing. But if we become flawed people and we don't practice on ourselves and work on loving ourselves and
The
loving others around
interpretation
us,
and the meaning becomes different.
we can change it. If I turn into an evil man because I hold hatred in my heart, wrong things are going to happen to you, right? Pain is going to happen. But if I don't work on my mental health and my spiritual health and moving these things out the way, Beyond the Dimensions could turn into a hateful podcast series in a second where we could spew hatred. So I think that a lot of religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, whatever you may believe in, whichever one, we could rip them apart for days. We could rip them apart. But I think we have to focus on the human.
Yeah, my point wasn't about the human. It's just like I don't know how another person can say this religion is lost because of that reason.
Yeah.
While like every religion is lost by people. Like it's not your religion, it's the people that are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think religion could be used as propaganda?
Yeah. Like it could make you try to hate like other religions or think some other religion is dumb.
Like perspective. Like I feel like, oh my gosh,
What
I
is
see
it
this
called?
so bad.
Mono and polygods?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a mono like believer, they would think somebody that believes in like
A lot of gods.
yeah, they would think that's like a dumb religion.
Yeah.
But to me, like you can't judge another religion because
yeah.
it's like those people think you're dumb.
Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah.
and I see it so much in like even school or when I go to church. That's why I don't like going to churches no more. Like I see it's so bad. Like when I talk to them about other religions, like they'll see something happen in the Middle East or like war or stuff happening, and they'll directly try to say, "Oh, it's terrorism, it's this or it's that."
But it's not their fault, though.
It's not exactly
Because it's propaganda.
Yeah,
Like everybody's brought up to think that even like I don't even. Oh my God, bro! I seen a video. Some girl said when she walks past a girl with her job, she gets scared, and I don't know if that's her fault, but like
yeah. Oh,
it's just like propaganda.
it
like,
was
why you scared?
it was a guy that was wearing traditional
like a turban.
yeah, he was wearing stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And he was on a bus and he had a backpack on. He was like just a social experiment. He wouldn't even do anything drastic. He would unzip his backpack and everybody would get nervous.
Yeah.
Like that's actually so bad.
Propaganda is about control over resource, all right, control over history, control over a story, but it's mostly resource, right? So as far as propaganda goes, let's just talk about 9/11. It's gonna be a touchy topic, right? But I mean, let's look at what happened to people, United States citizens of the United States of America. You can argue, be mad about it, but they're citizens of the United States of America. I grew up in Stockton, California. California, relatively left state, right? Like, not a red state, really free. My best friend growing up, Rala, that's my boy, right? Muslim dude, probably my best friend growing up. He, after 9/11, he was like, yo, I always went to the library. I was just a kid going to the library, normal day. And he was like, I went to the library one day and I saw there was some towers that was like on fire in New York, I stayed and watched for like a few hours. Like, what the heck is going on? It's a little kid, it's probably 7. He was like, when I walked outside, I was now a terrorist. Period. So what purpose did putting all those people group, all that people group, who you can say Arabic, right? Not everybody, anybody who looked like they're from the Middle East, Arabic, whatever, all deemed terrorists. What purpose does that serve for us in the United States of America? Why would we do that to somebody? For what?
They did the same thing with Japanese American. They put them into like it was like, so you know how Hitler did the concentration camps with the Jews and stuff, right? So America did the same thing, but they don't want to tell you. They didn't do it like that bad, but it was
bad.
Still,
They held. We have old concentration camps in my city.
yeah, I know it's bad, but it wasn't like burning. It wasn't putting them into like, what's it called?
And enslaved people.
Yeah.
They enslaved people.
Yeah, I know it's bad. I'm just saying it's not like what Hitler
the magnitude of the Holocaust.
Yeah,
He's not trying to.
I understand what you're saying, but what purpose? Why would I demonize your people group? You didn't do it.
I learned about this in history.
You didn't do it.
So
but why would I do it?
They said a way that they do that, it's to like you see those people and be like, I don't care about them. It's like it's not affecting you, so you don't care.
But why? Why would you? What's the purpose as for a country? Why would you take a people group? You clearly 9/11 happened, right? We won't get into the ins and outs because this is a long time as far as like the story, everything, right? Why they're bombed? But why? Why would you?
I feel like
demonize a whole people group for that?
I feel like it's like the same thing that ties back to race. Like a lot of people will say like, oh, these people are taking away our resources, taking away our jobs. These people are coming here and doing this, doing that. And now when it's easier to demonize them, their opportunities diminish. Like it's smaller. And you feel like you're getting your stuff back. Oh, my resources, and it's
make everybody against one, and then, like, you guys all like get more power.
Yeah.
If I can dehumanize a people group, it makes it that you guys are in my nation, right? And I'm like, yo, this people group, everybody, all of them did this to you. They did this to kill and affect you. It wasn't just this sect. It was all of them. It's all their fault. It makes it easy to mobilize my entire nation. People don't think twice. Everybody's scared. Everybody's afraid. If you get people afraid of a people group or afraid of a religion, heck, I don't gotta sell you on attacking them. I already did. Yeah. There's people who look like this group look like Christians, and they blew up this building. Everybody looks like a Christian and wear a cross around their neck, be afraid of them, fear them. It makes it that much easier for us to mobilize and go to war against them.
Yeah.
Did you ever, I don't know, y'all probably was little kids around 9/11 or just born.
Not even born.
Dude, I was a little kid. I remember like there was nobody, and I watched the news as a kid. Like just like I watch it now, I watched it as a little kid. There was nobody on the news like saying anything like everybody that's Muslim isn't bad. Nobody said that, not once. On MSNBC, CNN, I never heard a single coverage that like spoke out and said like, let's not judge.
Let's not attack them as a people group. Let's look at what those individuals did.
And it's about what's not said is more important sometimes than what is said. Because I feel like in that moment in our history, you have to come out. Even with like Black Lives Matter, I felt like I didn't hear a lot of people come out and say like everybody who's black doesn't like hate you, or you know how we were kind of all thrown into a bus of. Even when I moved out here during the height of Black Lives Matter, and I would get looks from people in the community like they would be like afraid of me, like I didn't like white people, like. And I feel like if you're in those situations, especially with religion, when we're having conflict, somebody has to come out and say like this is not for everybody. This is just this specific group. But we do that for a reason. It makes it easy to go to war.
And then going back to religion, how could you go back to your religion and be like confident and say you're 100% your religion? You feel like you're a good person, but you dehumanize the next person next to you.
And you do it subconsciously.
Yeah. And so it's crazy how we could look at a whole subsection of people and be so comfortable dehumanizing them and going without our day. Like it's nothing. It doesn't phase us
That's
at
what
all.
I used to always get mad at, like Greek mythology. Like everybody thinks that's just like stories and myths and like dumb stuff, but like people actually believe in it.
Yeah.
So why are you gonna say that
Yeah,
this
why-
is not believable and then your religion and most religions tell you not to like judge other people. They tell you to learn about other ones, but people don't even want to learn.
It will make more sense. I think it makes more sense if there's a lot of gods that help
And not
create
even-
this big thing we call life
Yeah, not even
than
that.
just one thing we look at and like he just did everything.
But look, not even that reason. It's also like Greek mythology. Like the gods don't always do good. They can do something
Yeah.
bad. It's like
The imperfection makes
Yeah.
it more realistic. Yeah.
Like I'm more like in tune to believe like a god would like, bro, this world is like so messed up. Like I
Yeah.
don't know.
You said it earlier about like people's interpretation and understanding of when we say like even God or gods and what that means.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, obviously, bro, we live in a world that's more so. I say the dominant religion is Christianity, right?
Yeah.
So then Christianity, as most people practice it, is monotheistic. So the belief in one God. But if you read the Bible, people don't be reading that Bible. I swear
Yeah,
they
I
don't.
think I
They
think you
mention
said it before.
They mention gods, and it says it. Why would God say, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me"? Why? What else? That means if you tell me, when I interpret that and I read that, I'm saying, dang, there must be something else out there that's considered a god.
Yeah, that is my belief.
Yeah.
My belief is like you're your own god.
Yeah, that's why. Like some people,
It's cause like
You
consciousness.
see, you see Lang's eyes. He's
Ooh.
like-
this is another. This is a thing that. Yeah, that.
shared conscious. That's actually what I believe. I believe in an interconnection with all things. I don't think that there's one part of like nature or matter that we can't connect with. I think it's just us opening up our mind, changing our frequency to be able to connect. But I think it's something. I think there's good and bad in the universe. Like period. There's things that operate that cause pain. There's things that operate that cause like joy and health. I think that there's that the energy of pain and like hurt is what brings me apart from like Melvin or yourself, like that we can't connect. No matter what this man may believe in, I can connect to him on a soul and spiritual level because, dude, it's my brother, and we were predestined to be in here, before we were called. I believe that to the core of me. I don't think you got to be a Christian or a Muslim to be able to connect with somebody on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
So if that's the case for all of us, that's collective conscious. So I don't know I'm not gonna say what created us or what made us, but whatever it did, put something in our fabric that connects us to me, you, to the table, to tree, where everything's interconnected, bro.
Yeah.
So
That's
the hatred only creates
Yeah.
The
So
root thing,
that shared.
nerves.
So that shared consciousness. Like,
Exactly.
Without that shared consciousness, will there even be us right now?
without shared consciousness.
Yeah.
No, we couldn't. Dude, sometimes let's even think about the creation of this podcast. We didn't have to sit down always and talk about and plan it. It was just like we can connect. Like you had an idea and your idea was the exact same as mine and we just made it happen.
Yeah.
That's a shared conscious. That's collective conscious. That means that all information has already been put out
Yeah.
there.
That's just like when
we
you
tapping
don't
in.
talk and somebody knows exactly what
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
thinking.
Human existence wouldn't have reached anything without that.
No, bro.
Yeah, literally.
Oh yeah, it's like what you said earlier. I didn't know how to answer it earlier, but like now it like shows like the morality, like the universal ones.
Yeah.
It can be a shared conscious. Like everybody.
Yeah, everybody knows
know.
everybody should know I mean, not everyone knows obviously, but everybody
Like the major,
the major
extreme
ones,
ones,
the
like-
extremes.
like
Oh,
stealing.
But everything
lying.
is oh my gosh.
No,
It can't be.
it can never be.
It can never be universal cuz everything is like
Subjective.
circumstantial. Like everything is like killing, war.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because it can always flip back.
Not every single thing. Like
Well, it can
grape.
always-
Like grape is
Let's
grape
not
is never-
even stay away from that
Yeah,
altogether. Let's not even talk about that. This how I view it. This how I view it as a father. I think like, all right, if you're a father, mother, parent,
Oh yeah, you can't tell nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just gonna tell you. Wouldn't tell you.
I'm
Wouldn't
tell
tell
my
your
son. I'm gonna tell my son, right? My son play basketball. Sometimes he be trying to play me, and he says, "Yeah, Dad, I learned how to shoot from so and so." I say, "My boy, no, you didn't, right? I'm a father, right? So my boy, you didn't know. I taught you how to shoot. Don't forget, we taught you how to shoot. I mean, Dad, I love you. I made you. I think and I think the same thing when I look at
competition, boy.
no, not comp. It's not comp, bro.
You scared.
If you're, it's not being scared, bro. It's like it's not like that. Watch when you have a kid, you'll see. You love your kid, right? You want to pass down certain traditions and legacies about your kid. You want them to speak certain stories about yourself being their father, and to put certain things into their life, to speak certain things into your life. So if my child Ethan, if he's astray, right, he's like, nah, I'm getting this from this. Get it from there, but know when you need help. I don't want you to forget. Know when you need help and you need love, who to come back to. I'm always here. It's that simple. It's not. And I think the same thing with your question that you asked. Like, when you read that scripture, and thou shalt have no other gods before me, I look at it from like a father or even a mother's perspective. I think about Mother Earth. Like, if you're tripping, bro, and you really need some food, like, come back to your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't put anybody else before me. I really love you. Like, I made you. I love you. Come back when you really need me. That's how I look at it. But to answer your question, yeah, I think there's other gods. Like, if I see something fly out of the sky, right, like a Superman, blow something out the way in maybe 6,000 BC, and the only word we have for that is like God.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's him, nigga.
That's
He's
a God.
him.
That's a God.
That's him.
That's a God, right?
He's him.
Until I have a different experience with something that, if there's something else that comes and that thing that just shot a beam and blew up a building, and then something else like transcends and comes out of nowhere and like just completely swallows that thing, like boom, that thing is gone, and then that thing tells me like, I am God.
Bro.
I just swallowed whatever you thought was God. And I'm like, damn,
Wait,
that must be God. Like,
bro, going off that like scripture thing, like the Bible says like don't praise any other idols, but don't you have to praise money? Like you have to idolize money to like get money.
speak more. Go ahead. Go more in detail.
Like you're not gonna get money if you don't want to. Like you have to idolize it. Like me, like even like as men, like you already need, you need money to like provide for your family and everything. Like how you gonna tell me not to idolize something that I need to idolize?
What do you think idolize means when you break it down?
It's like you do everything for it. Like I don't do absolutely everything, but like I know I need to do things to get money in the long run.
In the same book in the Bible, in the other spiritual context, it talks about the need and knowledge for money. So it doesn't remove the aspect that money is needed, right? You need resource unless you become a hermit, right, and completely separate. But if you want to exist in this society, you need money. I think when we speak about interpretation of idolatry or idolizing things, it was when you put something above like the love of yourself and the love of others. Like I'm gonna go get money. I don't care how I get it. That's all I think. That's how I think. That's all I think about night and day. I don't care if I have to step on you, capitalize on you, however I need to get to you. I need to get money. Same thing. You could like idolize basketball to a point where it's the balance, right? Let's take basketball. If I idolize basketball, I'm not thinking about you. I'm on the court thinking about myself only. I only care about getting it for myself because I put it at such a high point. I prioritize it over everything else. And I think in life, we talked about idolizing things. It's just the removal of balance. And all we want is balance. When you go money, this, you idolize it. I don't think about Melvin. I don't think about Leng. You getting money.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to idolize anything because I don't really think it matters. But like, it really doesn't matter. But I know I need it, like, to survive. It's not to. It's just like it's like a benefit for me.
Think about it. Like,
It is.
what is most of your goals are the idea of how can I get money?
Yeah, like even if you want to say
Yours?
I want to be the best at basketball.
I wouldn't say mine.
It comes with money.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. I don't know. It is.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, it is. To be
Even
honest,
with this podcast, I want to be the best podcast.
yeah, I want to be the best podcast. Nigga.
But it comes with money.
Subscribe.
How do you separate the like Santa, these fairy tales from from religion?
And you know, you know, we always do this, like when we're joking around with people and we're talking about
basically believe Santa.
yeah, we literally be like this, well, Santa Claus religion, or
Yeah, we always
you
say
that.
Okay, Santa's real.
Yeah, yeah, we always say like fairy tale. Yeah,
But like Santa is literally like, I don't know how you can't believe in Santa.
God, that's
but you
actually
can
such a
believe
good
in,
analogy. Like that's such a
somebody,
good
yeah,
analogy.
exactly what you said. Like, how could you believe in a visible man, bro?
Yeah.
I still believe, like, no, that's what separates me from religion. Like, religion is 100%. Me, I
Yeah.
don't know. I just have my idea about
Yeah,
there's
that's what
like
I'm saying.
a higher being.
People get so mad at me when they be like this. Or if you don't believe in Christianity, what do you believe in then?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yeah, I have an idea of it, but I'm not gonna stand on it as like I'm still expanding my mind.
and
you
we
will
would
never,
never know
yeah, you
until
will
we
never
die.
know. That's what I'm saying.
Like they always ask you like you're supposed to know. Like
And honestly, it's okay to not know. Like I find comfort in the idea of not knowing because I
no one
want to
knows.
know more. Yeah,
nigga, no one knows until you die.
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you saying that. Yeah.
Bro, I think Amar said this before. Like, what's the difference between like what if like what is it called right now? Alzheimer's. Like somebody had Alzheimer's back then, and like they were like or mentally ill, and they
Yeah.
had like some crazy
Like,
thought.
Crazy
Yeah.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Schizophrenia.
I always heard about that. Like, it's a voice in your head, and like it can be God to you, and then like you tell other people, yeah, this person talked to me.
Ooh, and I did so much research on this. Like, when I used to be super like not secured in what I believed in, and I like for me Christianity like had to be real to me. Like I was like, bro, I kept questioning it, and every time like I'll find something that like gives me comfort, I'll read more about it, and it'll make me so like it'll make it worse because then it'll give me even more holes.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, all right, let's look at near-death experiences or heaven-like experiences. I'll read stories about like people like, oh, I witnessed this, oh, I witnessed that, and stuff like that. Go look. The people that went to scientists to go and like do research, at least like 90% was like diagnosed with like some mental thing, or they found something in their brain that caused this reaction. Like a person, I think that like don't quote me on this, but I was watching a video and a person, oh, they died for like a second. Like they died and they got like rehabilitated. Like they got back to life, right? And he was like saying like he said he was an atheist before. He said like he didn't believe in God. He believed in science, all this. He said that he had a heaven-like experience where he talked to angels, flowers, like he seen everything. Like the grass was green.
Science calls it DMT. Yeah, it's a chemical.
Yeah, and that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
I think your brain, 100. That's scientifically proven that your brain produces DMT. Like when you dream, slight amounts, and especially right before you die, right? But one thing scientists can account for with NDEs, near-death experiences, is the people who pass away, right? But are able to see what was going on in their aunt's house, like 5 miles away, and then come back to their body and have that recollection, like an out-of-body experience. That's some things you can't like, bro. I can't discredit. I think we talked about. I can't discredit like none of those stories. Like, bro, I actually heard that before in my church about a lady that passed away. I can't say it's not real, bro. She was able to describe exactly what happened in a situation miles away.
Yeah,
there's no explanation.
Bro, going off of that, it's
There's
like
no way.
I always see those stories about like they die and then they go to heaven or like, and then don't you hear those stories about like some little kid like seeing his past life?
Yeah,
stuff,
my past life, I did
so
this.
that's basically like reincarnation and then religion like that don't.
Yeah,
tie
it
hand in
doesn't.
hand.
Yeah, it doesn't go hand in hand.
Well, you just haven't studied enough and you haven't read it. Anytime we say, bro, y'all got to stop connecting religion to spirituality. Our religion, you have to separate it and make sure you talk about the people and what they believe. Like the people in the church or the people in this is what the people believe. But the text, there's more than enough text to support like the idea, and we don't want to say it. There's more than enough spiritual text and religious text to talk about reincarnation. Even look at Christ. we don't want to use the word reincarnation. But if Christ was before and then Christ popped up again in the
Oh,
Bible, and
that
Christ
is
was at the end of the Bible,
reincarnation.
They say
that's
it
a
is, right?
spirit. That's a spirit that was reincarnated into a different form. We don't want to use the word. No, the church doesn't want to use the word reincarnation because they don't understand it. And they're afraid. And look, bro, if you support, it is what it is. You support the notion that certain things like that don't exist. It's easier to control your mind. And I can say, Melvin, you go to college, you pay for this, you go to this, you go to work, and you feed into our 9-to-5 system, and that's that. But any extracurricular thoughts about what else is out there could take money away. If your brain gets opened up, you might not want to feed back into the American beast, the American system, if you have an awakening, right? And you're like, damn, what is this? Let me take a sabbatical and really study. What if 50% of our population took a sabbatical to study what their spiritual beliefs were? What will happen to our economy if you don't keep following them, going the mouse? If you don't keep staying on the wheel, you have an awakening.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like everything feeds into everything.
If you keep going to church and paying tithes,
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
keep-
Like religion creates structure.
yeah, you pay
you pay.
10%. That's based off. So I don't know if that's in any other religion. I know in Abrahamic religion that was something that came out of the Old Testament to support the church. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying that. But if you go to church, you also are paying into a lot of different funds as well, right?
Yeah, missionaries and stuff.
You paying money into this different thing. Do you think churches have any deals? Do you think that the church is a place for government, you could say, involvement? Do certain messages get pushed out of churches during certain times of the year during elections?
Yeah.
I've heard it myself. I've been in churches where, we need to support Governor so-and-so. The church has always been a place for influence. So if you keep people practicing the status quo and nobody says, if I never question, like, I wonder who I was in a different life. I wonder who am I really? Why am I sitting in this pew here? What if you stepped out? What if we all stepped out? What would happen to the economy? What would happen to
Can I
everything?
ask you a question?
Mhm.
All right. So those people, like, even if you're doing it subconsciously, like, we need. Like, I seen this in my church a little bit, like during like election times or like mayors or like local leaders.
Yeah.
They'll bring them in, like they'll be like, "You need to do this."
Everybody lay down their money on
Yeah.
everybody.
Oh, I seen that so much times. Like,
Yeah.
we need to support this man.
Yeah.
But isn't that kind of getting away from the word?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it is. But how can if you're getting away from the word and this is a place of worship, how can you 100% believe in your religion?
Yeah.
Bro, you answer the question yourself. It's a fallacy and it's wrong according to their traditional text. And we make allowances for it. Human beings make allowances for different things that make us comfortable. So if you come to me, bro, and you say, "Yo, I got $10 million for you right now," right? All you need to do is let me wear shoes on your carpet.
Yeah,
It's
let
a
me
rule.
go.
It's a rule of my house. You can't wear your shoes on my carpet at all. But you tell me $10 million.
So
Heck, I might break that rule.
go against your morals for a payment.
Bro, this is a human nature.
Yeah.
It's greed.
So
it's
then you
vanity.
don't 100% believe in it because then you would
It's going
die.
against your.
Yeah, you're going against it.
When you talk about 100% belief, you talk about 100% belief in the religion. People 100% are afraid of whether they're going to die and go to hell or 100%
That's
afraid
literally
of dying
what
or go
we
to heaven.
always say. That's how. It's not really. Then to me, oh my gosh,
But-
that's the biggest epiphany.
I'll put it this way. If I were to tell you, I'm not forcing a belief on nobody because I actually, it doesn't matter. I believe what I believe. If I were to tell you guys, hey, you know what? This may not be your first or your last life. How would you live your life? You would live it however you want it, right? Some people, because this is also another point of religion. If I have I'm in whatever part of the world, and I tell my people, you have as many lives, you have multiple lives. Some people may be a bad driver in a fast car. Some people may be a good driver in a fast car and do good things. But if I tell people, you got one life here, if you mess it up, you're gonna die and burn in eternity forever. It's over for you. That's it. No chances for your soul to be redeemed. How do you think those people will live their life? Religious and afraid.
Yeah,
Then-
so
that's what I'm saying.
Our whole point.
Yeah,
that
that's
it's
li-
not genuine.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm.
If you're believing your religion out of fear, bro, it's like it's
not.
just
You should-
controlling you.
You should believe in your religion out of love.
But everybody, bro, like firsthand experience, like there's no way you can tell me I was not afraid of it. There's like if you give me
I
the
was
chance
so
to go to hell,
afraid.
I'd be scared, bro. And
Of
then they
course.
describe like they show stuff like, oh, you'll be burning on. They say all the description
How
to
would you
make you.
how would you burn? The Bible stands for, and I know we're talking about the Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Yeah.
Right. In the Bible, it also talks about your body's not leaving Earth. So what exactly is gonna burn?
So
Your soul. What would be the purpose of burning a soul?
to renew it,
Anytime you, what's the best way to clean anything? How does the earth get clean?
to burn.
What
No.
What do volcanoes do to the earth? After a volcano, what grows from it? You guys see what grows after? You ever seen a volcano? What comes from it? Some of the best minerals to grow anything out of is volcanic dust. Green as trees. We can go to Hawaii. Go to these different places where there's volcanoes. Some of the healthiest land you see is where there were volcanoes, where there was a burning. So my personal belief is, and I even use it with the Bible, bro, because it talks about our soul essentially burning. What if I believe like that God loves me, and I look at God as like a figure, like a parental figure? And people be like, "Oh, I love my dad." My job as a dad is to burn my son when he does wrong things, because I don't want him to be a terrible person going throughout life hurting people. So I'm gonna do what I can to chastise him. I'm not talking about whoop him. I'm gonna teach him a lesson. If you cuss out your teacher, I'm gonna take your Xbox, and it's gonna burn. It's gonna burn. But maybe next week you won't do the same thing. So I think about that with hell. I think that we were created out of love. I don't think that we were created to be given up on. So if it takes some burning of my soul for me to live again and hopefully not hurt anybody, then that's what it took. But I think when people wrote eternity, I think a long time could be an eternity too. Like an eon could be an eternity to human beings. Yeah. But it also says in the Bible, for a day to you could be 1,000 years to me. So the way we process time as human beings isn't the same way as things are processed in other dimensions. Yeah. Period.
Yeah, going off of that, like, do you think you would like heaven?
The heaven? Way that I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, bro, the way that it's described.
Describe
like, I think
perfect
gold houses.
Yeah,
like this and that.
I want the imperfections in my life.
I want a gold house. Gold house would be nice.
I want a gold house.
Yeah, but like you have to be perfect.
Yeah,
that's not what when I think about heaven. I think about perfect love. I think about every time I read perfection. I want us to always, if we can, this is a struggle, is your ideas associated with language. When you hear perfect and you think like white as snow, gold, diamonds, right? Remove your mind from those materialistic things that may have been used to describe, for you to get an idea what perfect was in that book, and think about what perfect means spiritually. For me, perfect means spiritually is a place where I'm not hurting Melvin and Melvin's not hurting me, and we're both loving each other, and we're both not even growing. It's just a joyous time. That would be perfect. Where there's no pain, a place where there's no pain to me is perfect.
I think it was Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I liked about it. It was like to get all your human wants, like to like sacrifice all of them, like, and then just find the perfect peace. And like people are scared of the ending of it, because it's like you turn into nothing, but you're like all peaceful.
You said a great point, my friend. You said a great point. I was doing some studies yesterday just about the spirit, right? And how do we like transcend our ascend to a place in where we're connected? And it is literally the act of becoming nothing. I'm not saying you're a nobody, but the act of becoming no material. Be pure conscious, pure spirit, able to connect with everybody in this room. I'm not bringing any of my ego into, I'm Janelle and I'm Coach BTG. I'm holding that over my head with everybody. I'm a Janelle and I'm holding that over my head when I walk into the room. Subconsciously, we do it with our accomplishments. So how do you remove your accomplishments when you walk into a room? The act of becoming nothing and just being a spirit, a loving spirit, hopefully. That's what I strive to do. That's why I don't hate on no religions. I can't say nothing that I believe what I believe, but I know what my goal is.
Yeah, I can't go out my way about like a religion or anything. It's just like even like when we talk about it, I like talking about it because I like get to learn more about these different religions and stuff.
What's one religion you think you would want to study?
I like to study like all of them.
What's one you think that would be like? Well, one, if you could pick one that's like, yo, this would be like the most interesting religion to study.
Like Buddhism.
Yeah, one that I haven't really looked into as much.
Yeah.
Like Buddhism. or
That's the
Hinduism.
one that's like so believable to me because it's like it's not like forcing you to do anything. It's like what you would need to do to become a better person. It's like just like
It's a practice.
yeah, practice like removing every like want that you want as a human. It's just like internal healing and stuff. Like, I can do that while believing my own belief.
People do. People believe in, say, like, I've met a lot of people who were like Christian, but they practice Buddhist practices.
Yeah.
And I do that right now. Meditate. I forgot this. Is it the 7 or 8?
Yeah,
like
the Nirvana thing, like
is that
the
Hinduism?
wheel. I think they like tied together,
They do.
Yeah.
but
Nirvana Hinduism? Yeah. Yeah. I think the challenge, I want to challenge y'all after I leave this seat. I want to challenge you guys to pick a religion, all right, that you want to study, any religion, and let's bring that person on here and ask them questions.
I bet.
So, somebody from the Buddhist community, bring them here. I would like more insight on Buddhism as well.
I would like the practice of Stoicism.
Stoicism?
Yeah, Stoicism.
What is being stoic?
It's practices. It's like a lot of like not set. It's not like set rules or anything. It's the belief that you are always calm. You are always. Nothing is supposed to phase you. You don't get irrational. You don't make irrational decisions. So your emotions don't flare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because it's
Yeah,
like the same. It's the
like-
same thing. So
It
like
doesn't affect. It does nothing but good for you.
yeah, and the guy who originated from, he was rich and all this. He lost all his materialistic
Is that
things.
Marcus Aurelius, who was like the
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's
speaker, the father of Stoicism?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did not, like, his character didn't break from that. Like that didn't let him like break him or affect him. He was like, all right, this is what I have now. This is what I have to live
The
for.
philosopher king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that mindset is something that I want to practice in my own life. Like I'm slowly starting to get there more and more and more. Where like instead of running away from each problem or feeling like I have to escape to be like do the best for me or stuff like that, like work with what I have and make that flourish.
Yeah.
That's like the best belief. And being able to I wouldn't say that's like me personally, I feel like that's like something that you should do regardless of what God or higher being you believe in. That's just like a human trait we should all live by. Yeah. That practice makes me not fear anything no more, like how I used to. Like the
that
fear
basically,
factor
like-
is off of, you know how I always like to say like I don't fear anything, I don't get controlled by anything. So like I feel like I'm in my most genuine form right now.
Yeah.
So I don't act away for a certain thing. I do it like impulsively. Like I do things
You think about it?
For you,
not for me, for other people, for me.
yeah. It's like I don't know how you're like saying it. Is it like you're just being like yourself? Like
Yeah, I'm just always being myself. I'm not looking at anything like this is my higher touch to do it.
Does that make you a peculiar person, which means you think you stand out or odd in a way for thinking and living like that?
I wouldn't say like I've talked to billions of people or reached billions of people, but from the people I've talked to and the different experiences and the things I've watched, I feel like it's more unique and more like rare to see people actually think like that, like genuinely think like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's in people to think like it's just like that escaping the matrix thing. Like
Yeah.
it's in people to think
It-
out of
it-
it, but like
It's the fear factor.
yeah, it's whoever's like
Yeah.
you're like strong enough to get out of it. But like other people, they would still care about like societal things and be scared of what other people think or
Yeah. And
For those people, I don't want to speak in disrespect the fear complex. Like I can understand social pressure is real.
yeah.
Like the pressure you feel from the weight of everybody else's energy, dude, it could be heavy sometimes. Especially going like that's why people have mental health battles. I feel like your judgments for me wearing what do they call those kids, man? That's actually really messed up, bro. What's the kids they say? The furry kids,
Oh, furries?
furries. Like that's social pressure, bro. And they're just,
Nah, bro.
that's social pressure, bro. And they're being themselves, man, because they want to wear a tail. So what? Like, that's social pressure, big time. But I think Melvin and Leng, y'all hit the nail on the head, man. Like the removal of the pressures out of oneself is the key to living.
Yeah, and I use that practice like people like I'll do things that are like odd or I'll like wear things that are like people will be like, oh, why are you wearing that? Or like, what are you? Yeah, like why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It's like I don't care what you think. Like I'm doing it for me. Like I like it.
And you feel good with it.
Yeah, I feel good with it. Like I don't feel like have to live up to no standard of no man. Like I'm going at my own pace and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Man or woman.
I'm at peace.
Yeah, man or woman.
Yeah. I don't know why you guys said that.
Because you
Excluded the other
he's
kid.
excluded women out of the situation. Out of no man. Women don't matter.
What?
We're trying to get you kids.
We're trying to get you canceled.
Bro, what you trying to say, bro?
Wrap it up, man.
Thank you guys for watching another installment of. Look, we got a Stein now. Beyond the Dimensions. We're gonna be back with another episode next Wednesday.
Awkward pause.
I think it's coming out now, 12 a.m. every Wednesday. So make sure to tune in.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, guys.
Leave a comment. We talked about this earlier. Leave a comment.
Yeah.
If we said something that was like maybe, I don't know, conflictual to your beliefs, if you want to add on it, leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? We're easy to get a hold of. We'll type back in the comments.
Yeah, and guys, we're gonna leave your recommendation who you guys want us to interview. If there's any people, anything religious wise,
You guys want to leave a comment of what we should talk about next?
Yeah.
Anything.
What we should talk like, speak on, touch on, anything like that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching.
Big shout out to Mad Dog Madison,
Yeah, Amar,
Amar in the building,
Coach Isaiah.
Coach Ish back there,
Yeah.
representing. Too smooth with the bucket hat. This dude.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Peace, man.